Today, I'm back with literal devices. The other day, I have already posted about the literal devices. Today, I'll be going through the literal techniques. This classification that day I have already spoken about, that these is classified, literal devices are classified in literal techniques and literal elements. And these are the elements that had to be keep in mind while creating a stories. And then now literal techniques in which it is further divided or is based on likeness and not based on likeness. So in based on likeness, we have few ones that are supposed to be discussed today, and which are not based on likeness. We will discuss it later on. Okay. So today we'll be covering only this topic. Okay. So let's go through quickly and pull through the details. As we know that poetic devices plays an important role for creating the poems, which intensifies the meaning of the poems. So in that case, we have these tools. These are the methods which we use to make sentences. Okay, to make poems, we need these kind of poetic devices to understand first. Then only we can make a sentences, and we get an idea. Okay, how to what we can include. Okay, so very first poetic device. See, I won't be saying that after just watching these videos or understanding these things, you will be able to make poems. Just start with the making poems and all. These are the simplest things. These are the very few things that to keep in mind, that what we can learn from it. Okay, what we can, how creative we can be. So this first device is simile. This is used when you compare two things. Okay, and it has, when you're comparing two things and you find out some similar qualities. Okay, so when you mention this directly, okay, that these two devices are like as, so these are the words that are used when we compare two things and you find out some similar qualities. So for example, we have as busy as a bee. So teacher is busy as busy as a bee. So you're comparing teachers' indulgence into work like a bee. That how bee is busy in working, our teacher is indulged in her work. The soldier fought as brave as a lion till his last breath. The soldier fought as brave as a lion. So as brave as a lion. So you have used as word. Okay. David slept like a baby after studying for 8 hours. So like is the simile. Like and as, we get to know that you're comparing two things and you found some similar qualities, similar traits. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. This is the kindergarten rhyme that we all have learned in our childhood. How I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in a sky. So again, we have used like. So this is how you make this simile, make use of simile in your sentences. Next, we have metaphor. Metaphor is compared when there are two distinct things, which are two opposite things, whether it could be living being or non-living, to describe someone or to describe anything, something will which will be like the message will be little hidden. Okay, it's an implicit way. Implicit means indirect way of saying someone, you are comprehending someone or you are describing someone. Like to resemble the two opposite things or objects on the basis of common traits. Yeah, they both have common traits, but you are describing it in a hidden way. What is the difference between simile and metaphor? The simile has direct comparison and it uses the words like or as. but metaphor doesn't. Metaphor is an indirect comparison. You have to think that what qualities is mentioned, what qualities has been compared with the subject and object. So, for example, my mom has a heart of gold. That means the mom's heart is compared with the purity of gold, right? So, like how gold is pure, okay? The same way my heart has a, sorry, my mom has a heart that full of love, pure love, and my friend Shayana is a night owl. So here she's saying that she's a night owl. Directly she's saying, but it doesn't mean that she is night. She's an animal. No, she is saying the common trait. What is the common trait of night owl? The common trait is it can stay awake throughout the night. So my friend Shayana is a night owl. That means she can stay awake throughout the night. You are a liar. That means you have that quality of braveness, courage. You are courageous. That means you got a compliment that you are courageous. Okay, it's not like that someone is mentioning you as an animal. Okay, so these are the things when we compare two opposite things, and we are not mentioning any such word like as or like. But we know there is a comparison and there are some common traits that has been mentioned for the subject. So this is all for metaphor. Now we have analogy. Analogy is again it's a comparison. But it is basis on similarities and connections. So it is both literary and rhetorical device. Analogy is a device that establishes a relationship between two concepts based on similarities or connections. Establishing this connection makes the new topic simpler to understand by introducing it through a relatable contrast. When you compare, even though there are two opposite things, but you find out some similarities or connections between those topics, whether they are physically different or similar. Okay, um, still you find out some figurative similarities. For example, they look different, the physical appearance is different, but they have some qualities or traits which are same. Okay, so to explain this, for clarification, for further clarification, we use this analogy. For example, we have that book. Examples are that book was a roller coaster of emotions. Now here book has a which quality? It is a quality of a roller coaster of emotions. Roller coaster of emotions means sometimes it feels so positive, sometimes it feels so negative. So it goes up and down and up and down. Your emotions gets like high jolt of the roller coaster. So this is what is mentioned in the book. So that book was a roller coaster of emotion. So you have compared two different things, and you have mentioned how it is different and how it is similar. So roller coaster of emotions means ups and downs in an emotions. Just as a sword is the weapon of a warrior, a pen is the weapon of a writer. So here the weapon is a similarity, okay? But sword is for warrior and pen is for writer. Next is finding a skilled personnel means talented people. Is like finding a needle in a haystack. So finding a skilled personnel, like finding a needle. See, needle is the very tiniest thing, and how you will find it out in a haystack? It's impossible for us. So yes, it is that difficult task. There, it is mentioned that how difficult it is to find a skilled personnel. Okay, so now here skilled personnel is compared to needle in a haystack. Just as a caterpillar comes out of its cocoon, so we must come out of it, of our comfort zone. Now here there are two different things. Caterpillar is compared with humans. It is saying that how it comes out of cocoon, how it struggles, and somehow he gets success and become a butterfly, right? Same way how we should get out of our comfort zone, and we can to find out our own aim in our life, to achieve our goals, we have to come out of our comfort zone. So now we will we will get to know what is the difference between using a simile, using a metaphor, and using an analogy. A metaphor is a figure of speech used to compare or suggest a similarity between two items. Okay? A metaphor is that it is used to compare two different items to different things to match the similarities. Whereas simile is comparison that uses the words like or as, while metaphors and similes help writers show instead of telling something, right? Instead of clarifying something. And now for analogy, how it is different. And analogy is also comparison. It also find out the similarities, but it provides explanation or clarification. Please keep in mind, analogy is what? It provides explanation or clarification. So it goes beyond metaphor and similes. So consider the following example, comparing thoughts to a storm. Comparing our thoughts to a storm. So in metaphor, it is called as his thoughts were a storm. Simile, his thoughts were like a storm. Analogy, his thoughts were like a storm causing chaos. So these are the three different ways, three different devices used to compare one particular thing with another and find out the similarities. But in analogy, we are explaining it further. We are clarifying why it is like that. The writers can use metaphors and similes to create analogies. However, not all metaphors and similes are analogies. Please keep in mind. Here we have ambiguity. Now, ambiguity is when a word, phrase, statement, or idea has more than one meaning. Okay, it creates vagueness, means confusion. Okay, uncertainty, or even like the confusion I already mentioned, that typically creates a feeling of vagueness. This can make a reader or audience feel doubt or suspense and an active desire for clarity or resolution. That means they need resolution, they need clarity, what is being mentioned over here. Okay, so in that case, that device is called as ambiguity, when a word, phrase, or statement or idea has more than one meaning. Okay, let's see the examples. Foreigners are hunting dogs. Now it is unclear whether dogs were being hunted or foreigners were being spoken of as dogs. So this is what? Confusion. Call me a taxi. Someone says, call me a taxi. So now here the speaker wants to asking someone to get a taxi for him, or he wants to be called as taxi. So this is a little confusion, right? So these are the things which are mentioned in ambiguity. I saw someone on the hill with a telescope. Now again, did you see someone that someone is on the hill that is using telescope? Or did you see someone on the hill holding a telescope? So are you using a telescope, or you saw someone on a hill that is holding a telescope? So that is what confusion over here is. So did you use a telescope, or you saw someone holding a telescope on a hill? So these kind of sentences are the examples of ambiguity. Here we have very interesting poetic device, that is personification. So personification is the simplest way among all to understand. It gives the human qualities to living or non-living things. It personifies the still objects of plants or animals or any other living thing, natural living thing or non-natural or non-natural, natural non-living things, beings with human qualities, thus transforming your poetry into lively and filled with imagery and description. For example, my pen fought back, determined not to give up any of its ink when I needed it most. That means my pen always, um, it's always with me whenever I need it. Okay. So my pen fought back, determined not to give up any of its ink when I needed it most. The flowers danced to the wind. Okay. So the flowers are dancing like a human trait. The city that never sleeps. Now, city, that means people of city, right? But it is mentioned in a like although living beings are compared with the city only, that this city never sleeps. Actions speak louder than words. So abstract noun, actions, verb is mentioned as a, like it speaks whatever you do, that mentions more, that speaks out louder what you don't speak. I felt like the food kept calling me. That means my food is calling me. So this is what we give non-living things or any other living being, human qualities to non-living things, okay, or natural non-living thing. That means rivers, mountains, clouds. You give those human qualities to them. So those are natural non-living things. So here comes a pun. It is a very interesting topic. A pun is a figure of speech that includes a play of words. It's a words that play, that have more than one meaning, or those that sound alike. The clever or humorous use of word that has more than one meaning. It can be also defined as the words that have different meanings but sounds the same. For example, yeah, you can include homophones or homographs. Homophones are the when the spellings or meanings are different, but the sound, the pronunciation of those words are same. And homographs are those when the spelling is same, the sound is same, but the meaning is different. And sometimes spelling is same, the pronunciation and meaning differs. So here, these are the witty ways how you play with the words. That's all. So a pun is a clever and amusing use of a word or a phrase with two meanings. Just to make fun out of it, we can use puns. So my shoe is a foot long. So shoe is a foot long. So 1 foot what? Whether you're calling about the your foot, physical appearance of the foot, or the measuring. So this is what here pun is. A bicycle can't stand on its own because it is too tired. So too tired again. It has bicycle means two tires, and it is also ambiguous, like it is ambiguous with tires. So it has double meaning. Why did the spider go to the computer to check his website? Reading while sunbathing makes you well read. So READ read or RED read. Don't be so hypocritical. Okay. So these are the hypocritical. What do you call a bear with no teeth? So with no teeth is called a gummy bear. It doesn't have a teeth. So these are all about pun, and these were the poetic devices that I wanted to tell you. Yes, initially it is difficult to understand, but once you watch 2 to 3 times, or you get to understand how these are to be used in your poems or in your writing process. Thank you for listening to my video. Thank you for watching.